Everyone laughed when Sarah walked into class. She was always the quiet one. The girl with oversized glasses, her hair always tied back, a notebook clutched to her chest like armor. She never spoke unless spoken to. No friends, no confidence, just silence. But what none of them knew was that Sarah had spent the last year taking care of her dying mother, cooking dinner for her younger siblings, and reading books late into the night to escape the sound of pain coming from the next room. She wasn't quiet because she had nothing to say. She was quiet because no one ever asked. The students in room 204 were merciless. Jake, the class clown, once taped a mute sign to her back. Everyone laughed. Sarah didn't even flinch. Lily, the popular girl, would loudly whisper about how weird Sarah was, how she probably talked to herself at home, how no one ever saw her parents at PTA meetings. The teacher, Mr. Green, tried to intervene once, told them to stop. But it didn't matter. Sarah was a target because she never fought back until the day everything changed. It was a Tuesday. Rain slammed against the windows like a warning. Mr. Green was out sick, and the substitute, Miss Donner, had never taught their class before. She walked in with a clipboard and bright red lipstick, clearly trying too hard. But she was firm, asked them to write a short speech about someone who inspires them. Anyone, she said, a celebrity, a parent, even yourself. Most groaned. Some scribbled nonsense. Sarah wrote like her life depended on it. When Miss Donner asked for volunteers, the room fell into awkward silence. No one wanted to read aloud, until Sarah slowly raised her hand. Gasps echoed. Jake chuckled. She speaks? He whispered. Sarah stood up, walked to the front, and cleared her throat. Her voice trembled at first, but then something shifted. I want to talk about my mom, she began. She died last week. The room froze. Not a single breath, not a whisper. She was sick for a long time, cancer, but she never gave up, even when she lost her hair, even when the doctors said she had weeks to live. She kept smiling, for us, for me and my little brothers. Every eye was on her. Jake looked like he wanted to disappear. Lily's mouth was slightly open. I used to think being strong meant being loud, but she showed me that real strength is quiet. It's in waking up at 5 a.m. to make breakfast for kids before going to chemo. It's in holding someone's hand while pretending you're not scared. It's in showing up every day, even when you feel like you can't. A tear slipped down Sarah's cheek, but her voice didn't shake. So, if I don't talk much, it's not because I don't have anything to say. It's because I'm learning to listen, like she did, and maybe that's okay. When she finished, the class was silent. Then Miss Donner clapped, slowly, gently. Then the rest joined in. No jokes, no sarcasm, just quiet respect. Sarah sat down, no longer invisible. That day, she taught them all something they would never forget. After Sarah sat down, nobody looked at her the same. Jake stared at his desk. The smirk wiped from his face. Lily blinked fast, like she was trying not to cry. And Miss Donner? She cleared her throat and looked like she'd just heard something more powerful than anything she'd read in years of teaching. Thank you, Sarah, she said softly. That was beautiful. The rest of the period was quiet. When the bell rang, no one rushed out of the room. For the first time ever, Sarah wasn't the first to leave. Instead, she calmly packed her things, and when she stood up, Lily actually moved aside to let her pass. That never happened before. But the real surprise came later that afternoon. Principal Henderson called Sarah to the office. She walked the long hallway alone, her notebook hugged to her chest like always. She wasn't scared, just confused. When she entered, the principal was waiting with a strange look on his face. Next to him sat Miss Donner. Sarah, Principal Henderson said, motioning for her to sit. I heard you shared something powerful today. Sarah nodded. I just did the assignment. Miss Donner leaned forward. Sarah, it wasn't just an assignment. You moved the entire room. You made those kids think, feel. You have a gift. A gift? Sarah echoed. Yes, Principal Henderson said, and we'd like you to share it at the school assembly next Friday. Sarah's heart skipped. In front of everyone? Ms. Donner smiled. You don't have to, but I think a lot of students need to hear what you said today. They need to understand what real courage looks like, and who better than you to show them? Sarah hesitated. Her palms were sweating. She imagined the gym packed with students, hundreds of eyes staring at her, the same students who had laughed at her, mocked her. But then she thought about her mom, how she'd faced pain every day with grace, how she never stopped showing up. Maybe this was her turn. I'll do it, Sarah said. The week leading up to the assembly was strange. People started noticing her. Students she'd never spoken to said hi in the halls. One girl in her chemistry class asked to sit next to her. Even Jake stopped her at lunch one day. Hey, he mumbled, scratching the back of his neck. What you said the other day? I didn't know, I'm sorry. Sarah looked at him, really looked at him, and nodded. Thanks. By the time Friday came, she was ready. She had memorized every word, not because she had to, but because it mattered to her. This was for her mom, for the girl she used to be, for every quiet kid who felt unseen. The gym was packed. The hum of voices echoed off the walls. Principal Henderson introduced her. Today, we have something different. A student who reminded us what true strength looks like. Please welcome Sarah Jennings. She stepped onto the stage. The lights were blinding. The silence was deafening. But she wasn't afraid. My name is Sarah, she began. Some of you might not know me. That's okay. I didn't expect you to. I've been quiet most of my life, but that doesn't mean I haven't been watching, listening. She paused. People assume quiet means weak or weird or boring, but quiet can mean strong. It can mean observant. It can mean that we're going through something you can't see. She told them about her mom again, about the late nights, the hospital visits, the fear, the strength. She didn't cry this time. She just spoke. And when she finished, the room erupted. Not just polite applause, real clapping, cheering. That afternoon, Sarah walked through the halls and realized something had changed. Not just how people saw her, but how she saw herself. She wasn't just the quiet girl anymore. She was the girl who made them listen.